Tell me, what do you know about this room, who was here, and what do you know about how people were brought here? Okay. On May 28, 2018, I heard a man scream. That scream was very strong. It was loud to hear. The man was subjected to some kind of severe physical violence. I remembered that it was over the weekend. It was the second day of Trinity, an Orthodox holiday. I remembered that last weekend I heard moans, but they were very muffled. It was as if the man had apparently been gagged, but the moans were muffled. I realized that some kind of person was being tortured. Tell me, did you pass by or do you live nearby? I live across the street, and I walked up to the wall. It was behind the yard behind the organization. It all happened on weekends, on holidays, when there were no workers on the ground. It was all conspiratorial, because employees from the security service of Ukraine were always in civilian uniform. They didn't go to the store, and they hid it all. Did you know that there were employees from the security service of Ukraine here? Everyone knew that. Everyone in the area knew, although they hid it. But everyone here in the village knew that it was from the security service of Ukraine, and I went to the wall to listen. I was wondering if these were prisoners of the Russian army, or if they were fighters of the Luhansk People's Republic, and when I came up, I heard the interrogation. They asked for your last name, first name, and who you work for several times. The man was silent. I'm sorry, please tell me, can we assume where the interrogations took place? In the administrative building or somewhere in the technical building? No, it was outside. I was on the street from the side of the concrete wall, and I heard everything clearly, so you were just outside the fence. I was behind a concrete wall. The concrete fence is high, but I heard everything. So they tortured a man just on the street, but I just can't imagine what they were torturing me with. I looked. There were no cameras anywhere, but it turned out that I was ambushed. Should I tell you that too? Come on. The security service of Ukraine acted so conspiratorially that they had cameras somewhere. I saw two men. Literally 3 to 5 minutes later, they were already standing at my place. They started shouting, "Who's the contact?" On you. On me, where's the contact? In general, they said not to approach 20 meters, hands behind your back. I was ambushed in this way. At first, I thought that I would say that I was just standing, picking grass. It was impossible to deceive them. They understood everything. And they took me to the basement. Where to? They took me past the gate. There's a yard there. There is a gate from where the motorists always left. When they were passing the gate, they stopped 30 meters away. Those people who tortured came out there. 2 people. I realized that they were torturing. They were stripped to the waist. They began to shout loudly. Where's the contact? You're going to make big problems for yourself. I realized that they couldn't take me off their hands, because there was a neighbor standing in front of him. She was cleaning the paths, and she wasn't cleaning the paths, she was looking at me. She was so interested in what she was watching. And then another neighbor passed by from work. My eyes were huge because it was obvious that something was wrong. They couldn't get their hands on me because all criminals hide their illegal actions in any way. They didn't have to take me off their hands because they saw me standing here. Everyone sees it. If I had disappeared somewhere, then suddenly someone would have called the police. Suddenly, the social service would come because I take care of a disabled person of the first group. I told you what you're doing. You're fighting with each other here. In general, it turned out that they believed. They immediately exchanged winks. So you pretended that you didn't understand there was torture. I didn't understand anything. I knew what I had heard during the interrogations. I had to trick them somehow. They believed it. They immediately exchanged a wink with each other. I was taken away. They told me to give them my passport and phone, and they checked for about an hour. They searched the place where I was for a very long time. That is, I could have left some notes. There was a concrete floor. There was nothing. And they told me to write a paper that I would never disclose this information, otherwise it would be bad. What kind of information? About what I've heard about people being tortured. Did you write that you would not disclose the information that you heard? They told me to write that I agreed to cooperate and would not disclose the information. Did they give you a pseudonym? Which one? Spy. That is, you were actually recruited. Do you have a subscription for cooperation? I knew I couldn't tell anyone else about this. And as soon as I have the opportunity, I'll let you know right away. You did the right thing. I have never traveled to the LPR. I knew if there was a post, they wouldn't let me through anymore.